Hello, I'm testing. Haha, it's just a test. Welcome, one and all, to Nature Child's Corner, a safe place to discuss mental health issues and topics. What's up, y'all? Nate from the future here, and I was editing this all together, and I realized that I need to put a trigger warning in here for slight mentions of self harm, suicide, and verbal abuse throughout. On a side note, somewhere in this the video slash audio goes completely off the rails and completely awry. So just, I don't know, try to just listen to it and try to keep yourself busy from, watching it. Cause if you're like me, that crap really drives you crazy. And by all means, enjoy the video. As you can see, today I got my lovely co-host, my dear sister, Christina. Please don't call me Christine, or you will get chopped in the throat. So my man Folk, he tells me that I keep talking about these names, bringing up all these people, and that I need to start putting faces to those names, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. And here, starting that tonight, will be her. All right. So first off, this woman right here, she is the other side of my coin. There are some things with us that are just set in stone. We have very similar beliefs and thoughts on certain things. They're just absolutely set in stone. Ask either of us, hands down, same answer. But at the same time, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. Some things, a lot of things.
Some things.
Okay. I had to check. I got to confer with my consultant here on that situation. And second, I should address the relative oddity that is our relationship. Now, I'm not going to get all games of Thrones on you. So, 2 years separates our births. Births. Sorry, I don't accentuate all my letters. But we really act like twins, and uh, actually, I've been asked to. We've been asked if we are twins.
True story.
So the thing about us is we can influence each other's moods across even states. Like, well, this is more recently when I was staying here, but just the other night I woke up having real bad panic attacks. Get to talking to her, and it's her because she's having a real rough go at it at her work, and she's a bit panicky. So we can, and even across states. One night, I had found a soon to be ex's car at her new boyfriend's. And I'm walking around and I'm pacing, I'm kind of freaking out. And so I felt bad about it, but I called her. It's like in the middle of the night.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Was it?
I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and couldn't
This is
go
why I
back to
have her
sleep.
remember crap. What?
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and couldn't go back to sleep, and I think you called 30 minutes later.
Yeah, and she told me that when I called that she was already awake. Told me she woke about 30 minutes ago, and that's about how long it had been since I found the car. So it's usually when we're in some form of distress. One of us could be depressed or just feeling down all day long and then contact the other and find out, for no reason. Like you get depressed, no reason, feeling down. It ain't gotta be depression, just some kind of feeling low. And contact the other one and find out that they've been like really depressed that day, or it's just stuff's been rough, and getting to one of us and the other will just sense it. I can't explain it, but we just seem to have a connection that's deeper than most. Yeah.
So, also, part of our connection is we also do feel physical things like he can mention uh his neck hurts or his elbow or shoulder or any random thing, and then I'll be like, well, that's where that came from because that's not a normal pain for me. And vice versa. I've mentioned things and he's like, is that what that is?
That that happened with the panic attacks the other night. See, I woke up and I'm pretty much a walking panic attack. That's what it felt like. And then we're texting while she's at work, and she uses that very that's where I got it from. She's like, I feel like a walking panic attack. I'm like, that dude, that explains it. Now, usually when you hear about things like that, it's twins, but like I said, there's 2 years in between us. But that's enough out of me. About to hand it over here to my co-star, and she will be talking to you about what it's like to be the daughter of a narcissist. Now, I was the golden child, the baby, if you will. But so she took the major brunt of that whole situation, and which is why she is the best and perfect person to talk on this because she really got the worst of that in. Plus, I know a lot of her story, but it's probable that I don't know all of her story. Yeah, by the way, I'm still here. I'm just over here having a smoke. So I'm going to give her center stage right now. Heaven.
Okay, guys. So a lot of people say, how do two children come from the same parents, but they are complete opposites, or at least almost? So in my case, even though brother and I were raised in the same household together, we were not raised the same. Um, in my case, my mom was extremely hard on me and extremely easy on brother. So here's a little bit of that story. First of all, when he was born, I had asked, but I found out a few days after he was home from the hospital, I changed my mind. I wanted him to go back to wherever he came from. So,
I just want y'all to know I'm laughing over here, okay? I am not mad at all.
so at that time, and brother was born, like it was kind of crazy. But whenever I told my parents that you can take him back because this ain't where it's at, my parents told me that you are your brother's keeper. We have to make sure your brother is safe always. I took that to heart. I took that for life. So, moving forward, in our early childhood, we would go to family get togethers, and my uncles would start messing with games, doing
We'll just call it torture like it is.
so I would go tell my mom they're bothering brother. And so that off of that, huge family uproar. Huge. Now,
I used to tell people they should have a wrestling ring at our family get-togethers. It just make things more easy.
so but there were other times where my uncles would start kind of verbally beating up on me. Complete opposite situation. My mom would join in with them. So my uncles did not do that very often, and they have made comments over the years that they saw how the differences, which I kind of feel like that's why they were so hard on brother. I really feel like that because there was never a lack of me being put in my place ever. from childhood all the way to adult, my mom always kept me in my place. So those are some of the differences, but at the same time, I was always very protective. So anytime anybody messed with brother, it was not okay with me. I didn't care the situation. It was not okay. This included family members. This included walking home from school and having two boys from the neighborhood jump on brother. This involved any and everybody that was coming against my brother. This included my mom and dad. Also, I've defended brother so many times against my parents. It's unreal. And I feel like he's done the same for me. I think so.
I have.
But
Yeah, mine was always more off screen compared to yours. Like it was a private conversations.
so going back to being the child of a narcissist. So, like I have been saying, mom always kept me in my place, but at the same time, she relied very, very heavily on me. This was even up until her passing, God rest her soul. Um, the week before she went in the hospital before she passed away, she was making fun of me. Literally, she was making fun of my pajama bottoms. But I know I want to say this before I go any further. I love my mom. There is no woman that in on this planet that will ever take her place. But at the same time, she put me through a lot. And what she put me through was also compounded about how I was treated in society. Like I've never been treated the greatest. Um, so she would say things to me, like she would say things low to me in my ear, like at family get-togethers, if we were out and about, like she would say things to me in my ear about how I better act right, you're doing this wrong. Like I was always put in my place. And that has carried with me throughout my life. So to me, my mom has not passed away. She's living very well in the back of my head. Uh,
Not just that. She's haunting family members, so not exactly gone. Please continue.
but so when I make people tell me all the time, you have yourself so together. You are doing so good. Not to me. To me, I am barely scraping along. I am hoping to God I am making the right decisions because my mom always made me feel like my decisions were always wrong. Um, she, but at the same time, she would tell me, you know, when you make up your mind to do something, you just do it. And I told her this was a conversation, one of the last conversations we had. She told me she wished she could do things like I do it, like I just up and do whatever it is that I want to do, which is kind of funny because that's how I've always felt about her. She just kind of does, it's her way or the highway. She's going to do what she's going to do, regardless of how it makes anybody feel. But so the putting down, also read a book about being the children of narcissist parents. I would definitely suggest reading the book. It does give a lot of answers to how you are always almost constantly second guessing yourself, how you never quite feel right with your decisions. I wish I could say I've gotten away from that, but I haven't. She's still there. She is so still there.
Title and author.
I don't remember that's the title. Children of Narcissist Parents.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
But the name of the author, I don't know, but I can. I can get it to brother. Um, Also, there was a physical aspect of our relationship. My mom was anorexic, which entails that she, of course, also had mental health issues. Um, she had a traumatic childhood. And I say these things trying to give her some grace, but at the same time, I'm your blood. I'm your child. You gave birth to me. I know she loved us as much as she could love us. I don't think she had a great feeling of love growing up and throughout her life. So, and she had us when she was a teenager. So she was a child having children, literally.
Yeah, mom, she didn't really, the way I see it, she didn't really understand love. She'd never been shown proper love. She was beat up by her brothers, and eventually, she married our dad, and that ended horribly. So, like, she, you can't show what you haven't been shown. So, that, I believe that was a big problem with mom.
We, brother and I, have such a relationship that mom actually wanted it. Like, she told me several times, I'm sure she told brother too, she wished she had
Yes, she did.
she wishes she had a relationship with one of her siblings like what we have. Um that is I almost feel like she was jealous of our relationship, if I'm being honest.
You did get that jealous feeling. You did.
Like, honestly, I do feel like she wishes and kind of longed for that type of a relationship. But with brother and I, we have a great capacity of love. Where we got that from, I would say it's more on the end of family and our dad. However, um, she was very a lot of narcissists. They are very hard to make a connection with. Period. Whether it be a child, a significant other, a family member. My Meemaw even said that she could never really have a relationship with my mom. She always thought my mom was weird, and she was a girly girl, but not exactly a girly girl. Um, but she did things that was really off as far as my Meemaw was concerned. But she always found it weird that she could connect with her other 5 children on a level that she could not with mama. And with me, I'm a daddy's girl, not gonna lie. Have had daddy wrapped around my finger since I was born. But at the same time, I wanted my mom to love me like she loved brother, because it seemed like she loved him so much more than me. He used to get on my nerves so bad, y'all.
All right, this is where you're about to learn the hard truth, man. I was a little brat as a child. Y'all are about to hear some hard stuff, and I can verify anything she's about to say. Please continue.
He was a brat. I mean, there's no other word for it, y'all. There is no other word for it. He would pester me. He would follow behind me, making noises, just anything he could do to get under my skin. Anything. Touching me. Um, I have an issue with annoying noises, which he seems to be great at. Um, for example, one night I was doing my homework and I was sitting at the coffee table,
Oh, you're about to do the table thing?
and he would not shut up. like just, and it wasn't that he was talking, it was, hey, Cece, hey, Cece, what you doing? Huh? 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 And he's doing all these noises. And I'm like, please go away. Just go away. I'm trying to do my homework. You're not helping. So I'm sitting there doing my homework and he is still going on. And I'm just like, there's a bottle of glue, just a regular little Elmer's glue bottle sitting next to me. And he's still not shutting up. And finally, I don't say anything else to him. I just pick up this bottle of glue and I just flop threw it in his face. And then he starts crying and goes and runs to tell Meemaw how I just threw a bottle of glue at him because I was the one in the wrong.
I probably left out some details as to the throwing of the bottle. Just
I'm sure
possibly.
she could hear you. It's not like he was quiet.
I'm not quiet.
And then my mom would also use Brother to keep a check on me. So if it was my boyfriend at the time, she would always have him in the room with us. Always. And this is another difference I'll tell you guys about. But so he was always used kind of as a weapon for her type of situation. Like, you know. So I was accused of sexual activity years before I actually had sex. And my mom was always so hard on me about that because, again, she was a teenager, 2 kids by the age of 18. I know a part of that was she didn't want me to wind up in her situation type of thing. But at the same time, when Brother had sex the first time, you want to know what my mom was doing? And I wasn't even there for this. He's the one that told me about it. She gonna be dancing.
She was literally singing and dancing that I had lost the big V. Yeah, it was very interesting being her child. Mom was weird in some ways. But
Pretty sure that's the understatement of the century, but
but yeah, and you know what? I've never thought about that. Like, yeah, I never knew why I was in the room with y'all.
all the time.
I thought I was just being the bratty brother. I didn't know I was being.
I know that was on purpose.
Oh God, I feel worse than I feel worse than I did before about this. Oh my God, and
I mean, I would get accused of things with him being in the room or not. So, I mean, if
I can tell you, if I was in the room, there's no way she was doing anything. I was far too annoying for something like that. Anyway. Oh yeah, but you see the imbalance here. You know, she's singing and dancing whenever I lose the big V, and she's got her thumb pressed firmly down on my poor sis here, and she probably wasn't even trying to think about all that. That wasn't her world, really.
in other comparants, so I say, and I'm currently reading a book, uh, being adult children of emotionally immature parents. And that kind of goes into it too. Brother told me that at the age of 13, and I can, after hindsight, I can see it. Once she wasn't able to meet Brother on emotional level anymore, she was out. She checked out on him big time. Um, a few years ahead of that, she checked out completely all the way. But with me, I think she never felt an emotional connection to me. Um, and again, because you can't show something you've never seen. So, but we were talking about that when he turned 13 the other night, and then I was listening to this book. I was like, wow, that makes perfect sense because it was right around that age that brother and I just discussed the other night about how when he was 13, he felt that's when mom, like, he felt like a separation from her. And that makes sense because that's when he started coming up with questions that he didn't understand himself, and she didn't know how to answer it.
The way, and I'm the favorite. I'm the golden child. I'm the baby, right? Well, it's almost like she disappeared out of my life, and 13's also trigger warnings abound, I'm sure, in this, but 13 is when I cut for the first time. So, yeah.
Also, is that question, is that also when you asked her or told her you were afraid of death? Was that around that time?
Dude, I don't know, but that did freak me out, man, when I learned that one day I was gonna die.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I was kind of wondering if that is about the time that you started at or
when's the
making
last time
this.
we went to Stone Mountain?
Holy cow, I don't know.
The first time I had that thought was on that last trip to Stone Mountain, whenever that was.
Ooh, you had to been T90.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been 13. Maybe 8.
I probably had it in my head for a while.
I want to say it was probably 8 because
13 is probably where that all those thoughts for all those years had started to coalesce, and I was starting to talk about it. So yeah, it definitely fits the timeline.
okay. Um but he started, you know, and like I said, he was younger, but I guess at the age of 13, so there was just a complete just and just thinking about this too. Brother has always been very oblivious, for a lack of a better word. He was oblivious child. There's all kinds going on around
Dude,
him.
that's for real. Oblivious fits. I don't think you could have had aloof, maybe that would, but yeah, what you said
I
fits
think
there.
that's one reason that she was able to make a connection with him because his eyes didn't see things the way that my eyes saw things. I was always more critical. I was always more inept to what's going on around me.
I prefer to say that she was 2 going on 20.
Anyhow, also there are so many things. But brother always had at that point during his childhood, he was oblivious and I was not. Um I watched everything always. Um I was always very standoffish. I'm still that way today. I will stand back in a room and watch people until I feel comfortable talking to a new friend or new person or new in a new group of people. Um the people I've worked with for years. For almost 8 years now, if not moving into 9. I'm lost for that at this moment in time, but so it takes me a while and I will stand back and wait and see how somebody is around me, kind of their mannerisms. Um there's somebody at work who is from New York and I absolutely love her. She is hilarious. but she is very New York. And she's very, or comes off as being very confrontational. And I'm like, we all know you're just a big teddy bear under all that. But that is just how I am. And that I am like that because of how my mom did me. Um also ever know about this, but the year I turned 10 was the first year we went to Florida on a family vacation. And I had been in Georgia with my great aunt Betty Joe, and my mom calls because it was my birthday also while I was there. My mom calls and she told me, she goes, I'm gonna let you know right now, if you've gained 1 pound, you will not be going to Florida. You will be staying home. So my aunt had at the time some old prescription diet pills. And so I was like, well, we're just going to give this a go. That was my first attempt at unaliving myself because my mom could not accept me gaining 1 pound. And at that time, I was not that big. And you know what? I take that back. That wasn't when I was 10. That was when I turned 13. Because that summer, that was going to be our big trip, was going to Florida. But I took these diet pills and it was quite a few. Well, it didn't unalive me, but it sure made me sick. My aunt could not figure out why I could not get out of the bathroom. She could not understand why I was so sick. Like, I would literally sit on the floor and just sit next to the toilet because running to the toilet was not an option. I threw up all over her floor.
Yeah, I gotta say, I haven't heard this one. This is new.
But so she had told me that. So I was in Atlanta that time. I think it was for like 3 or 4 weeks because every summer I went and stayed with my aunt Betty Joe for a week or two, sometimes for a whole month. It just depended on what the situation was with travel plans, where how I was getting there, how I was getting back home, that type of thing. That's another thing. I was always very independent. My mom said that's why she was never that close to me, because I was too independent, but I just think that's a cop out.
It is.
So another time, we were at a jewelry party, and jewelry parties, the stupid little games, right? So you have to roll off the amount of toilet paper that you would use if you go number two. It was not my idea, okay? So my mom rolled up, I think, I want to say 4 or 5 sheets. And I'm just like, okay. So her last two was, she had lost, I want to say 20 something pounds. And her last one was, I wish my daughter would do the same. This is in a room full of women. I was only 16 years old at the time. She did stuff like this to me all the time. And when brother and I had talked about me coming on the channel and kind of showing things from my perspective, I got to thinking about things. And I thought about the differences between brother and me. Like, there were things that were overlooked. I have honest to goodness, I have felt like unseen by the world until I met Cy, which is my current husband. I'm sorry, y'all. We went on our first date, and he looked at me with such intensity, I could not look at him face to face. I would look to the side, over his head, at my phone, at the table, at my food, anywhere but at him, because his look to me was so intense.
When you come up in an abusive life, uh, and I can speak to this directly. Direct eye contact is very, very hard. So, like, I really feel that he was kind of freaking her out, but it's not exactly in a bad way, you know? Just a look of love and intensity from somebody, like, and you've never been seen before, and suddenly somebody's looking dead at you. I can say it's scary. It really is. So, I
Yeah,
wanna
he thought I did not like him because I wouldn't look him eye to eye.
yeah, oh, dude. Somehow when I talk to bosses, I can do if it's business, I can do eye to eye, but not in social situations. It's really weird. But, anyway, giving it back to her.
But and I still feel that way. I still feel like outside of brother and a handful of family members, I'm not seen. I just feel like I'm just somebody off in the playing in the background, basically, like an old record. Um, but when you have a parent who is a narcissist, and my mom was great. Please do not misinterpret that. She was great at being a mom. She made sure we were fed. We went to doctors. We were taken very well care of. However, she could never make an emotional connection, which, if you've been in this situation, you know it's not a cakewalk at all. She would buy us things. I think that's another thing with the difference between brother and me is
She,
she would buy him off.
like she tried to buy our love, and I don't care who you are, money is not love. Like I was very spoiled, I was very bratty, very entitled. Uh, because if I cried, had threw a fit, had an attitude, she'd just buy me something. She completely, absolutely.
Or gave you $5 to go to the arcade.
But that was just to get rid of me. Yeah. By the way, sobriety, like, and once again, not an equal situation. She would get grounded, and she was grounded. But I was the little harasser in the house, so I could get grounded and annoy my mom enough, and she'd give me $5 just get me out of the house. Like, here, just go, go. Anyway,
So I think when it came to the point where he was 13, it was like things were not doing it for him anymore. I kind of feel like that's where that
I
went.
could say it was not the same.
Um, for example, buying things. Do you have any idea how many game systems brother got? I asked for one computer. One.
Dude, that's no bullcrap. Like, I got every except for like Sega, anything Nintendo, and when PlayStation started coming out. Not the year it came out, but a year after there's that first price drop. Like, and this really bothers me because I see it as completely, absolutely unfair. Because like as soon as there's a price drop that Christmas, I got a game system. I
with
could, and
lots of games,
it,
even if they were or like somebody else's that mom bought from
oh
somebody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She definitely, but yeah, and as an adult, it really makes me mad. I would have maybe I've been a brat about it. Maybe I wouldn't have. Probably not. I'm ADHD, so shiny objects, and but I could have sat out a game system so she could have got a computer, and that as an adult, that is the thing that I think. I didn't know she sent me in there like a little trooper. Jeez, man, I feel used like a mug.
Told you there were some things that might bother you.
Well, yeah, I didn't know it was something like that. That's just weird. I was her little spy. Anyway, go ahead.
One computer. That's all I asked for. But brother got several systems. So I asked her a couple years before she passed. I asked her, I was like, why did you never get me a computer? Like, I was like, you bought all those systems for brother, but never got me the one computer. And she told me, she goes, I don't know. She said, I have no clue. She's like, I have no answer for that. She goes, I was even talking to your friend's parents about getting you a computer. My friend Amanda, her parents had a club that dealt with computers. So she was talking to them about getting me a computer, but for whatever reason, never got me a computer. Um, so that was weird. Um, I stayed out of town a lot. I travel a lot. Like even thinking back, I went on trips with my Mima, road trips with my Mima. I went on school trips to. I went to Alabama to the space camp. I went to Washington D.C. I went. There was another trip that I went on, but I don't remember where it was. But I traveled a lot. That is kind of a common thing with me. I love to travel. Um, but with my relationship with brother, I honestly don't know what I would be or do without him being my brother because he's kind of my anchor. He holds me down and I hold him down.
See, and yeah, that's it's the coin thing. Like how does one side of the coin exist without the other? You know, that's why I came up with it. Just it fits us so well. Okay.
So, for those of you who know brother personally, his friends in Mississippi and Memphis and wherever you guys are, thank you because he needs good friends. I was not really wanting him to move out of Texas, but I feel like it's going to be okay for a sister to let a brother go for a short amount of time. We'll have to make it month to month. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but uh I do want to say thank y'all for that. And so now that we've kind of gone over that, if y'all have questions or if you want me to do like a second video, um I have things that have happened to me. If you want me to talk about that, traumatic experiences, ghost stories. Brother and I love a good ghost story, and we have quite a few. Uh,
Yeah, I'm on the like. I kind of want to film it on Halloween, but I also kind of want to release it on Halloween. But I was thinking of other videos I could do, and
I am off on the 30th and 31st.
are you?
Mhm.
Oh, that might be happening.
I got off on Daddy's birthday.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna be moving out. Like she said, I'll be moving out around
Early spring, early
uh
late mid spring, sometime in there.
But
March, April.
until then, I'm gonna be here, so I'm gonna have her. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't mind her coming back for do some other videos. I was because I was thinking my first breakdown since we're having doing this episode. My first breakdown should be on narcissism and what it's like and what it's about. So you could definitely do that one with me if you want. But what
We should tell some stories.
you want to do that now?
Yeah,
Are you good? You
let's
good?
tell
You done?
let's tell some funny
But
stories.
what it is something she I was gonna touch on it if she didn't. But what mom always saw her any woman,
Any female, even if it's a dog.
really a
Really.
dog?
Nemo's Shih Tzu. Peaches. Mom hated that dog.
I thought she just hated her because she was ugly. I
No.
know because any woman, include a dog, apparently a dog, uh, my her own daughter was. That's one reason that she did. I don't think that mom liked her is because she saw her as competition.
Yes.
So where you want to start? Saying on the fireplace? We were real little kids, and the house we grew up in had like shin height, not very tall. Shin height. It's not like it's kind of stone. What kind of stone was that?
It was brick. It was just a brick. No, it was like
Big
the
like
big gray stone fireplace, like seat like area in front of the fireplace.
yeah, it was a nice seat though.
Yeah.
We'd stand on that. We would stand on that feeling like giants. Like we thought we was the tallest thing in the world. Just like we are looking down on our valley from our mountaintop. And we're keep in mind we are standing at on top of shin level.
Say you were probably because you were in kindergarten, so you were like five.
Yeah.
5 or 6. So I that would mean I would be either that'd be what 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So we were both pretty small, but we
Yeah, we
would
were. We man, dude, we big folks now, but we were real tiny when
yeah,
we were
when
little.
we were little, we were tiny little kids.
Dude, a stiff wind would blow us away. Oh God, help me!
Yeah, my Meemaw used to tell me my bikinis look like band-aids.
Dang on!
She goes, "That just looks like a pink band-aid."
I was vicious. My God,
I didn't think nothing of it. But
mom, she
what
had.
about the horse?
Oh yeah,
So we had a big
it was a
swing set.
yeah, it was a swing set, but you know, usually it'll have the bent swing, which ours had a two facing bent swing.
Yeah.
Something else, two
So it
swings.
was the horse,
Yeah, you go in the opposite way though.
the seesaw, then there was the monkey bar thing, and then the 2
You
swings,
remember? Oh
and
yeah,
then
the seesaw
it's like a
thing.
4-seater thing.
Yeah,
But anyway, so we had our own horse, y'all.
yeah.
We watered our horse,
We
and
thought
our horse grew.
we thought the horse was growing because we thought the horse was growing because we would we would water it, and so that grass would grow. And so the grass was getting taller, but the horse would brush against the grass, so we thought he was getting bigger. We gonna water our horse. We gonna feed our horse good. Big old plastic thing.
And then one time, Mom wanted us to clean the bedroom, and we had a fan.
That is how that started.
Yes. We had a fan that you could adjust. It had like a dial that you could adjust to how fast the fan went.
It's called. It was a light dimmer, but they're usually just for the lights. But this it would dim the fan too. So what? Dude, we were supposed to be cleaning our room. God, we sucked at that. we would throw the clothes on top of the fan and then spin that dial to high speed and like clothes is flying all over the room. Oh wait, I gotta tell about the Barbie. So as you may or may not know and or believe, I was a bit of a morbid child. I had this a Barbie doll that was mutilated, burnt hair, ripped off limbs, and I had her hanging from a string uh from my fan, but not from the middle part where you pull the light. I had her connected to my fan blade. So there
I
was
wasn't around for that one.
you not?
I wasn't.
Oh my god,
That's
dude.
when I was married, actually.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. She said she moved around for real. There are points in my life where she just wasn't there. I never knew. Like I knew she was living with our great aunt, or actually, I didn't. Even, I found that out way later. But like, she just disappeared, and come to find out that she was living with our great aunt and over there in Georgia. But it was always a question in my mind, where is she? But that's how things were between her and mom, is they were totally untenable. She had to get out of the house. But when I was a teen, I had this mutilated Barbie hanging from the fan blade of my ceiling fan. So there was a legitimate safe zone in my room and a not so safe zone. The not so safe zone was shortly as you came into my door. What I learned is I just ducked under. I didn't know where this chick was at, so I just ducked under, and hopefully I didn't get laid out by my own mutilated Barbie doll. But when I first did that, like mom, she came in and she's not going off, but just talking, and suddenly something goes by her face. She's like, "Whoa!" And like it's
You can see her now?
yeah, like a bee just and she whoa. And it came around a couple times. She's trying to still. She didn't always think she was a bit blonde. She died, but she was blonde. Trust me. But so like she would keep coming in, and finally she stepped back, and she's like, "What is that?" And the whole time I'm over there rolling. I'm like, "Mom, you gotta duck in. It's my Barbie doll. You don't like my Barbie doll?" So and yeah, Mom, she learned the duck under move. I forgot what happened to that. Like I just maybe I got tired of exercising every time I came in my room to make sure that y'all wasn't coming at me. If you was in the middle of my room, if you was in my bed, you're Gucci. But like if you're on the outskirts of my room, watch out. That's y'all life right there. But what you got?
So, what about, oh goodness, there's so many.
There is a lot. We are just comedians when we're doing our own thing.
So, here's another difference between brother and I. We went to Florida. I think this was the second time we went, but we went to St. George's Island. If you ever have the opportunity to go, go. It is beautiful. Um, However, that spring water is a cool 71 degrees any time of the year. Take that as you will. Anyhow, they had this high dive, but basically what it was like a wooden platform, like really high up, that people were jumping off of. There were adults afraid to jump off of this thing. Here's little skinny mini brother over here, just like it was nothing. Freaking hilarious. Because you would look over there and see him, and all you would see is this little slip of a person just flailing all the way down. Also, other ideas. So our mom was an alcoholic, and this also. this also uh is a whole other thing.
That's a whole nother kettle of beans right there.
So if you want to kind of hear about my our experiences, because that's a lot of what went wrong. We can tell you exactly when she started drinking. We
Yeah,
can tell you
when
exactly
she,
how long it started messing up.
yeah, it was that happened when I was 13 and she disappeared. She disappeared into a bottle. She fell into a bottle, and I'd like to say she eventually crawled out, but I really don't think she did. I don't think
Not until close to the end of her life.
she was drinking even then.
Not as often.
Yeah, okay, I remember you saying that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was still drinking, but not near.
See, when we say drinking, there was a 2-year period where literally all she did was laid in bed and drank. I'm not even 100% sure that she showered. I'm sure she did because she's a cleanly person. Like, she doesn't
But
like to stink, but
yeah, but the alcohol did get a hold of her. This is all correct.
she was in it full strong for a couple of years. One of my last memories of my Meemaw before she went in the hospital, and later passed, was my Meemaw begging my mom to please stop drinking because she wasn't going to be around much longer.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot from my childhood, but there are some that even oblivious little me, even there's some things even I notice. And like the last time, and you can't even say she fell out in the bottle because she was already in the bottle when Meemaw passed.
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I was like, during that period of time, that during that 2-year
Oh
period.
yeah, I always want to say that like Meemaw died and she fell in the bottle.
Oh no,
Nah,
she fell into it way
way
before Meemaw passed
yeah,
away.
way before Meemaw. Anyway, go ahead.
It was often enough that Meemaw was really, really, really concerned. Um, but if you have any suggestions of things we can talk a mile a minute about pretty much anything.
We do have that ability.
Um, we both have childhood trauma, some uh the same, some separate. Uh, if you want to hear.
Yeah, and when it comes to traumas, we are opposite sides of the we both have the trauma, we're still the coin, but we suffered I don't know, we a lot ain't the same.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot was different and a lot was the same.
Yeah.
So kind of the same but not really. Yeah, by the way, the email address is naturechild420 at yahoo.com. Anything, any messages, any love, anything you want to send, go ahead and do it.
Bye, guys.
Oh, you're done? We're done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, well, okay, crap. That's the end of the video. I will sign off in a moment. All right, y'all. I guess it's just me for the sign off. I hope you enjoyed the video. I like to keep a healthy balance of light and dark on my channel, and I think that I believe that that was a healthy dose of both. So if there's anybody out there that would like to write into my email at naturechild420 at yahoo.com, then to tell me, talk about or tell me your story, then by all means feel free to. If you're out there struggling and really just barely making it by, please reach out to somebody, anybody. If you, and for those hard cases out there, they're like, I ain't got nobody, then email me. I'd love to hear your story. But if it's a more serious situation, you need somebody, something immediately, then please dial the national suicide prevention number 988. It's so super simple. Even in a freak out, you should be able to remember that. Take care of yourselves out there, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.